Okay, I'm live. I am about to make some dinner. I don't even know if you call it dinner. I guess it'll be dinner if it counts for tomorrow's dinner. But really, I had every intention of either recording a video or going live. It's technically tomorrow, after midnight. So, meant to do this yesterday. Do it. So, I kind of want to give a little bit of an update on what's going on, but at the same time, I'm like, oof, I don't have much good to say. So should I say nothing at all? You know how that saying goes? I think I'm going to grab a light because I see that the lighting in here is not ideal. And I will probably post this, but honestly, right at this moment, I'm not sure. Not even sure if I'm going to say the things that I'm thinking that I want to talk about. But I am going to make dinner. So the title of this video, what I eat to stay fit, total bullshit. Yesterday, if I talk about what I ate for the whole day, I don't even think it counts as food, literally. So here we go. This is the fridge. And I buy a lot of this bread. I actually bought some and put it in the freezer. It's that Cheesecake Factory brown bread, and it's really, really good. But the dinner that I'm going to make is actually this. So as you can see, it's not food that you would necessarily eat to stay fit. So I'm going to preheat the oven. Okay, so once that heats up, I'm going to for an hour and then drop the temperature and cook them for a lot longer. So that is what I eat to maintain this physique. Honestly, though, like I said yesterday, I basically had toast and maybe something to drink. It was good, though. So now I'm kind of hungry, and I don't really have anything already prepared. So I'll get that going, and I'll know that tomorrow I'll be able to eat something really, really good. Today, I intended to order Chinese food, and then like I normally do, I thought about it, downloaded Grubhub, thought about it, and then didn't order anything. So despite the fact I did not order any food, and right now I'm actually kind of vibing on live with an artist that I really like named Cranium. So he's some of his hits and all that type of stuff. So anyway, back to the food thing. I have a lot of issues with health problems and all that stuff. So my diet is not anything that I would recommend to anyone at all, ever. But I know everyone's on a fitness journey and just wanting to be the healthiest they can be for whatever reasons. And I have the utmost respect for that. So I think everyone should just eat a well-rounded diet and maybe worry less about what other people are eating. And that's why I put JK, just kidding, in my title, because I obviously don't eat that every single day. I don't drink every single day. My diet is varied. How do I stay kind of fit? I mean, I guess to some extent, yeah, I'm mindful of what I eat. But for the most part, I think the fact that I'm thin, because that's what most people seem to notice, is more a byproduct of my health problems that I have. So it's not anything that I would brag about or go long periods of time with eating very little or not eating at all just because I'm so sick. So anyway, that's why I was kidding about the what I eat to stay fit. What I do to stay fit, I think, is more important than what I eat to stay fit. So Obviously, you need to make sure you're not eating more than you need to be eating, and you need to be eating the things that your body actually needs. But beyond that, you need to make sure you're like physically active. So I don't even recommend my level of physical activity, but I do try sometimes. I try to stretch, and I do squats occasionally. I do some yoga workouts occasionally, but I'm not really like religious about anything. I've recently tried like a new supplement, I guess, melatonin. Supposedly it should help with my insomnia. Yeah, it's just about 1 o'clock in the morning and I am wide awake. And it should also help with my gastro problems. So I have like IBS. And I guess, you kind of need to take something more than just one day to see how it works. But after taking melatonin for a day, I feel like I see how it could potentially be helpful, but I also see how it could cause maybe a little grogginess and all of that stuff too. So I have not found a super effective treatment for my problems, but I'm still searching and I'm open to suggestions. So if he has like a strategy, a diet, a supplement, or something that helps, please let me know because I'm open to suggestions. Now, as far as life update, probably tomorrow I'm going to record a vlog, like an actual, like, what I'm doing throughout the day. And I know I can't go live on mobile, so I won't be able to take you guys with me on live, but I will upload the video to show you what's going on. So if you follow me on my other channels or my OnlyFans or anything like that, you know that I have chickens. I love my chickens. They are the sweetest little ladies. And the problem is that my chickens were evicted. And so they are no longer here with me. They had the cutest little chicken house, little hen house outside. And I was looking forward to I guess part of the vlog I'll show when they were like cute little babies and I bought them and they were just so freaking adorable. I'll try to gather up all the footage I have and of their little house and like how cute and like non-bothersome it was and the way my landlord tried to play me. I'm going to talk about that. I'll mention it now. So basically the landlord says something along the lines of the chickens aren't allowed and see, I don't even want to get off this live stream because I'm enjoying it so much, but I actually want to read the text messages that were sent. So, because it's just crazy. I'm going to skip the name of the town, even though whatever. Anyway, hello. This is from the landlord. Hello, I stopped by and tried to call you guys before this text, but we need to discuss the chickens. A, they are in direct violation of the town of blank zoning laws. B, they are in violation of your lease, which states no animals. C, they are in the area where the snow is pushed from your driveway. You guys are great tenants, and I assume you didn't mean to break these, but the town has given you a week to rehome the animals before you get a fine. Please let me know if you have any questions or have trouble rehoming these animals. I will also submit something in the mail today to make sure you have been contacted by all means via in-person, call, text, and mail. So I responded. I said, I apologize. I didn't mean to cause a problem. The chickens will be gone by Friday. I'm sorry. And she responded, whatever. Okay. So the chickens were gone by the Saturday because I thought I might need help taking down the coop. And, the hen house was really, really cute. Like, I don't want to just call it a chicken coop because it looked like a little house. Like, it was adorable. It wasn't causing a problem for anybody. It's not in direct violation of the zoning laws from what I read. But like I responded, I didn't mean to cause a problem. I removed them. So they're gone already. Tomorrow, I'm going to take you guys with me to go and check on them. But wait, the other thing I wanted to mention, the thing that seemed a little sketchy to me about the landlord saying that the chickens needed to be removed, because like I said, I apologized. I said I didn't mean to cause a problem and that I would, they'd be gone, whatever. So she said, it's all right. You guys are blah, 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 blah. The town is pretty strict and pretty sure your neighbor called the town. If you don't mind me asking, what will you do with them? That's what the landlord asked. And I thought that was pretty interesting. Like, why do they care about what I'm going to do with my chickens if they've already said that they don't want them here and the town doesn't want them here and they think that a neighbor complained about them? Why do you give a shit about what I'm going to do with them? Anyway, I didn't respond to that. But she asked, I'd say a week later, how's it going? Have you guys, there's typos. That's my problem. Have the chickens been relocated or rehomed? And we just said yes. So, okay, maybe I'm jumping to conclusions. Maybe I'm like completely way off in this, but I got the impression that, yeah, she wanted the chickens gone, but she was perhaps interested in having them herself or giving them to someone that she knew. And like, what the fuck? Like, you're not gonna. Okay, so that's why I didn't respond to that, because I really don't enjoy fighting with people, and I felt like that was going to go badly, because like, you're not going to kick my chickens out and then try to take them and have them for yourself. Like, okay, maybe people don't get it, and I get it. Like, most people in America or in the world in general, they keep like dogs or cats as their pets, and maybe like not birds, right? Okay, I'm a bird person, not a dog person or a cat person. I grew up with a cat. I owned a dog, but birds, like, those are the animals that I really relate to. I love parrots. I love chickens. Like, I love wild birds. When I go for walks, whatever. I'm like Snow White. I love animals, right? So anyway, birds are like my pets. Like, I know if you're a dog person, like, could you imagine someone telling you that your dog can't stay in the place that you're renting? And then they start asking you, so what'd you do with the dog? And they're like, you start getting the impression that they want your dog after they've tried to kick your dog out. Like, I don't think you're going to take too kindly to that. Or maybe it's just me. Anyway, the oven's preheated. So I'm going to make my dinner. But that's what's been going on with my chickens. And I have property, so I could have put the chickens on the property and just gone every day to them food and water and all that stuff. But because, okay, we're talking about 5 chickens here. That is literally, oh my God. Now I like need to back up and say that 5 chickens isn't what I wanted for 2020. At this point, I think I had ordered like 24, not ordered. I went to Tractor Supply and I bought like 24 chickens. I didn't buy them all at once. I bought like maybe 6 or 12 and then another 6 or 12. And then, okay, yeah, I'm obsessed, right? Okay. That 24 might seem like a lot, but if you back up a few years, I had like 50 birds. I had a few ducks. I had these Indian runner ducks that were like my entire heart. I had 2 at first. They were named Cheese and Quackers, and they were awesome and loving and sweet. And then I got more Indian runners. And then I got a bunch of different chickens of different varieties. And I just had like an awesome flock, and I would just let them free range, and it was awesome. So I guess if you don't know me, you don't know that I'm like a homesteader and I'm like totally granola crunchy and whatever. That's me. Okay. I love birds. I had like 50 birds, and my flock started to shrink because of predators. So I had hawks, I had coyotes, and it was bad. And it was like, I started to notice, the shrinkage. And then over time, so I was getting eggs and like everything was great. But over time, like I said, the flock was shrinking. And then one day, something broke into the coop and killed all of my birds. It wasn't like what had been happening prior, which was just like a bird or two would be missing, It was like something broke into the coop, like there was a visible hole in the chicken wire and every bird in there was dead. Like that was just fucking heartbreaking, crushing. Okay. So I figured I was starting over this year and getting new birds, and there's so much more I should tell about like the property and living there and being off grid and homesteading, and I'll get to all of that at some point. Just trying to give a quick update, and like updates are never quick when you're jumping into someone's life and trying to understand who they are and what's going on. But anyway, bought a bunch of birds, and the person that I thought was doing this with me had apparently decided he wasn't interested anymore. And it took me a minute to realize that. And that's a whole other story. Oh my God, whole other story. But he gave away my birds. So I was adamant that I would keep 5 of them. So the flock that I just had to rehome was just 5 birds. But initially it was supposed to be like, whatever, 5 times that. Anyway, my birds are now living with my brother, and my brother is probably mad at me. And I'm going to explain to him when I see him and talk to him why I was kind of abrupt on the phone today, because I told him that I was going to go there yesterday or today to check on the birds, clean the cage, make sure their food and water is good, like, normal maintenance stuff, because my birds are kind of big. Like anyone who knows chickens, like a chicken, you would have to like hold it like that, like versus like that. Like, if it's a little chick, when it's a baby, you can hold it in your hands. But once it gets big, because birds feel like, for one thing, birds don't really enjoy being held and all of that stuff. Like if you have a bird of prey that you've trained, like it might land on your hand or something like that. But they really feel very vulnerable and at risk when they're handled by anyone. So even though my birds know me and they like me, they still get a little skittish when I'm going to like pick them up or something like that. So I know how to handle them, and I know like you hold their wings down and you hold them to you, kind of like, yes, someone is snoring in the background, and I have been trying to ignore that, but if you can hear it, disregard it. Anyway, kind of like when you hold a baby. So I was a nanny a long time ago, and I wasn't even going to go there and mention that, but I have a lot of experience with kids. Okay, so, babies like to be swaddled. If you think of chickens in the same way, they need to feel kind of contained and secure. And yeah, so I climb into the little hen house coop and I'll grab one, and I'm going to do all of that tomorrow. So I'm going to take this with the little tripod attachment, and I'm going to set it up so I can show you guys how everything looks. So basically, anyway, my brother when I took the birds over to him, I was holding them, and I was like asking him if he wanted to hold one. And my brother he is like a tough dude, like but he was afraid. He was honest, and he said, no, I'm afraid. And I get it. The birds are big, so you think that they might try to hurt you. And if they were male, 100%. That's the mistake that I made with my first flock. I got a kind of like mostly hens, but I got some roosters, which are the males. They are so aggressive, so mean, especially if you bring a kid around. They are going to go after that kid. But even adults, okay. Literal trigger warning here. Okay, trigger warning. My rooster came after me, and I don't play that shit. Like, I'm not gonna fucking own you, and you're gonna try to attack me. Okay, I don't. Mm-mm. So I got my pellet gun and I shot that bitch in the neck. Okay, yes, I shot my rooster in the fucking neck because I don't play those games. That's just who I am. Anyway, I hope that doesn't upset anybody's like sensibilities. But the rooster came at me first, and that wasn't his first fucking attack. I have footage. I will, when I do my vlog about the chickens, I have old footage of me actually gathering up my roosters so that I could rehome their asses to the wild. That was interesting. So yeah, hopefully I can like gather up all this footage and include it in what I'm going to show tomorrow. But the most important thing that I want to show tomorrow is that the chickens have a new place to live. They're safe, they're happy, and I just want to check on them. And my method of, caring for their coop is to just add extra shavings, keep adding shavings until it's called the deep bedding method. And if you do that through the winter, as the shavings that they're pooping on start to break down, it produces heat because there's like chemical reactions happening in there, and it will keep them warm. So it's actually recommended that you not remove the old. For my other chickens, I used straw and some wood shavings, but a lot of straw. And this time I'm using wood shavings. And so it's recommended that whatever bedding you use, whether it's straw, wood shavings, whatever, you don't remove it through the winter so that it can compost down and create a little bit of heat for them to stay warm. So tomorrow we'll go and check on the chickens, and I will take you guys with me, not live, but I will upload the videos, which I know I've been terrible at that, and I'm going to get on it. I want to upload videos on my entrepreneurship channel. I've obviously not done anything there like at all, and that's a problem. So I'm going to do that. Yeah, I want to get my food in, because even though it's like after 1 a.m, this literally takes like at least 4 hours, if not more, to cook. So I think I should get it started, and then the oven will shut off on its own and everything will be good from there. But, okay. Wait, let me sit back down for a moment. Another major life update situation is, and I'm going to fill in the details on this, but suffice it to say for now that I need to find another place to live. So, housing search, whatever. That should be interesting. But I make no guarantees because like I've already went to look at a place. I don't mind talking about that and everything. That the thing is, they're looking for somebody for immediate occupancy. I don't need to move for another couple months or whatever. And I'm just kind of thinking about everything right now, like income, the pandemic, what income might look like in 2021, the cost of apartments, the fact that, in my opinion, the bottom is falling out of the housing market in my area. So if I just wait another like month or two, I feel like prices will be a lot cheaper than they are now. There's just a lot to think about financially and all of that. And the reasons why I'm looking for a new place to live, this place is not in the location that I prefer to be. It's really big. It's like much bigger than I need for just me. And then when I factor in location and whatever, it's more than I'd prefer to spend. I mean, if this was in the location I wanted and it was even smaller, like I would pay the amount that it costs. But given that it's like at least an hour from where I prefer to be, it just seems kind of overpriced. And I don't know what price I would think would be more appropriate, because like I said, it's a big space. And if you see even just this frame, it's obviously like kind of a nice place. Like, and I wouldn't even say kind of, it is a nice place. There's a lot about it that is really beautiful. But I can honestly say the only reason that I'm even showing kind of what the place looks like is because I intend to move. I'm not the most private person, but I don't want random people to know like where I live. And that goes back to something that happened like a long time ago. Like, ice maker. It's loud and it always scares me. Anyway, as a kid, I come from the inner city, the hood, the bad neighborhoods, whatever you want to call it. I moved to the suburbs when I was, a kid. And then even before I moved to the suburbs, whatever, that's like a whole other story. But growing up, we never locked our door. Like, like I never felt unsafe at home. I just never had to think about it. There was always like a bunch of like I have 5 brothers, so I am one of 7. Okay, it's me, and then I have 2 stepbrothers. So it's me, and then my mother had 3 sons, and then she had 3 daughters, and I have 2 stepbrothers mixed in there. So it's me, and then 5 boys, and then the other 3 girls. So who was coming into my house growing up when there were like a bunch of dudes like with male strength and full of fucking testosterone? Like, I never had to worry or feel afraid. But now as an adult, like having had my own places, living alone and all of that stuff, I know kind of what it feels like to feel vulnerable and all of that. So looking for a place to live, it's interesting. It's interesting. And it's interesting because maybe not the last, but one of the last places that I had lived there for like 7 years, and something terrible happened. And like, it's hard even now to make sense of it. Like, full disclosure, I had to testify in front of a fucking grand jury because of this shit. So yeah, a little traumatized, a little bit. Okay. I'll be honest. I kind of want to sum it up because, like, why have a mystery floating around? My sister came over to try to get some weed from me. The people that brought her over, all they knew was that she was getting weed from someone. I lived in a house that was a multifamily, but from the outside, you couldn't tell how many apartments were in the house because way back when the house was built, it was initially built as a single family. That's neither here nor there. The people came back. So one of the people that she was in the car with was literally on fucking parole. I don't know what the fuck for, but these are the people that she brought to my house. And they came back later in the night to rob me because they assumed fucking incorrectly that I had a bunch of weed. I didn't. And they came back to rob me. And they went to the wrong apartment. So they didn't even come to my apartment. But because you see, whatever. Anyway, that went badly. I'm still not over it. And that's why I'm very, very fucking cautious about like letting people know where I live and all of that stuff. I wasn't the most secretive person before, but I learned the hard way that you have to be, because I had to move from that place. Like, my landlord no longer wanted me living there once, literally, I let the detectives in. They came into my apartment. They were asking me all these fucking questions. Like, and I did not do anything wrong. I didn't do anything to deserve what happened, but the outcome was negative for me. So at this point, I don't let people know where I live. I'm just really careful about that. I realize that people will do shit to you that you would never do to them. People will come to your house in the middle of the night, meaning to put knives at your neck. These people, they went to my neighbor's apartment, and she had a son who's in like middle school or something. So he would always forget his key. So he would leave like a window open so he could climb in, or whatever. I don't even want to like speak about the details, honestly. I feel like the details kind of matter. And that's how these people were able to get into her apartment. At some point, I'm going to talk about the fucking details as relates to me and that night and how vulnerable I actually was. But for whatever reason, they went to the wrong apartment. They looked at my neighbor. I'm a dark-skinned Black person. My sister she doesn't look like me. She doesn't have the same father as me. So they looked at my sister and they said, "Aren't you whoever's sister?" And the woman, my neighbor, she said, "No, look at me, look at my face." But honestly, she looks more like my sister than I do. And that's probably why they thought they had the right person. All I can say, if I was speaking freely, I would be able to explain why that would have gone so much worse if they had come to my apartment. I may seem like the sweet, soft-spoken type of person, but I don't take kindly to that type of intrusion or any kind of disrespect. My father was in the military, and he taught me to fight. And that's my instinct. And I'll just leave it at that. I was born in the hood. I may sound sweet and soft-spoken, but I don't take kindly to that kind of disrespect. So I'm planning to move. I'm nervous about where I might live and who might figure out where I live and all of that stuff. But aside from that, oh my God, I have so much else going on. My chickens, everything I'm not mentioning. It's, I want this to be the most open, honest life update, but snore. Yeah, I'll just say what I'm comfortable saying for now. So I haven't been on my OnlyFans. I mean, I have a bunch of content already uploaded on there, and that's great. But I think it would be probably good if I uploaded some new stuff. But when you combine like whatever health issues that I'm having with the just life stuff that's happening in the world, in our country, in this fucking racist ass town that I live in, I mean, it's just so much. Like, I talked a little bit on another live stream about an issue I had recently at Cumberland Farms, but that issue wasn't even unique. Like, I had already had a couple other altercations at Cumberland Farms. And like I said, the problem, in my opinion, is that the culture is very different here. And I don't mean to say that everybody in this area is the same way, but the Boston area of Massachusetts is culturally and politically very different than Central Mass, which is very different than Western Mass. So the Boston area and Western Mass are very liberal, and then Central Mass is very conservative. And I landed my dark-skinned ass in a place that even the people who don't outright hate me use language that I find offensive and hurtful. Like, I don't want to be referred to as a Negro. And those, like, that terminology came out of the mouth of someone who thought she was being kind and welcoming to me. But I had one woman approach me very fucking awkwardly in a bathroom in Cumberland Farms. And she was basically trying to say that she had lived in this town. I'm not going to name the town specifically because whatever. She had lived in that town forever and she basically knew everyone and she didn't recognize me. So who was I? See, I could have been a bitch. Like, I could have been a total bitch about that. I was kind and I was just like, okay, so these are the locals basically who feel like they own this bitch and whatever. I explained, like, I own property, it's up in such and such, and I've owned it for 5 years and I've never seen you either. Like, if I'm to be honest, I really don't like the people around here because that shit's rude. It's offensive. You know what I mean? Like, you don't come at someone like that. Like, it would have been different if she said, like, oh, I've been, like, oh, how are you? Are you new in town? Or there's a way of kind of approaching people, or I don't know, hey, where you from? That kind of thing, rather than saying, and honestly, I spent a lot of time in Maine. Okay. Like, if you know this region of the country, Massachusetts, that's my state. I'm from the Boston area. I now live in the central area. Very, very different. But I like to venture out. Spent time in New Hampshire. New Hampshire's trash. Racist fucking trash. I had racist, disgusting experiences there from the time I was a kid, and it only got fucking worse as an adult. I literally had to, I will show receipts. I had to fucking complain in writing about New Hampshire state troopers. I have stories, but whatever. New Hampshire is trash. So skip New Hampshire. Vermont is beautiful. Go there in the winter, get a nice hotel, cheap money. You can go skiing. I don't ski. I tried skiing once when I was a nanny. They paid for a private lesson. I spent most of my time trying to get up, okay? Skiing is fucking hard. But if you stay in a nice warm place and look at the snow-capped mountains, beautiful, beautiful. You can take some beautiful photos, selfies, all that shit. Anyway, Vermont, beautiful. New Hampshire, trash. Maine, I feel like I should do a whole other video on Maine. Anyway, I will do another video on Maine because I don't even know where to begin. I don't know where to begin. I think the thing I was going to say about Maine is the comments I would get a lot were, you seem like you're from away, or where are you from? And it's something about my appearance, not my outfit, not my gorgeous looking hair, but something about my appearance would let people know that I am not from the least diverse state in the union. What could it be about my appearance that would let people know that I am from away? Anyway, I will do a whole video on Maine because my opinion of what do they call it? Vacation land or whatever the fuck. It is quite nuanced. And then I will talk about the federal case that I am going to file against a certain group of people in a certain municipality in Maine. But we won't even go there right now. But New Hampshire is trash. Just know that. Oh, wow. It's already been 38 minutes. I'm going to get my food in the oven. I think I'm going to end this live stream. Thank you so much for listening. And tomorrow, or today, whatever, Monday, the 26th of October 2020, I'm going to go over, check on my chickens, give them some yummy treats, and add some wood shavings to their to their coop, cute little hen house, and I'll show you guys how they're living and what my cute little birds look like. So I have one bird with like the little fluffy feathers around her neck, and she's the friendliest, most social one, and my brother named her Selena, which I think is really, really cute. So I'll introduce you guys to Selena tomorrow. Talk to you soon. Thanks for listening.